I'm going to show you a trick to get better at whatever language you're learning, and at the same time learn another skill, sports or whatever hobbies you have or anything. Even if you're doing something for work, you can learn it like this as well. As long as there are instructionals online, you can do it. So first of all, you should start watching instructionals. Yeah. So in this case, I'm learning jiu-jitsu. No, I've always been training like MMA, kickboxing, something. But now I'm just doing jiu-jitsu and gi. I'm new to this. It's quite different from all the other types of grappling I've done before. I'm watching a lot of instructionals, some of them in English, some of them in Russian, some of them in Portuguese. And the way you do this is just simply just watch it. For the first time, the first time you should just watch it. Yeah, whatever you want to get good at. So like this is uh, how do I say in English? I forget sweeps from half guard. Normally, my classes. So because this is I'm in Spain, so this is in Spanish. Normally, the class I'm going to the jiu-jitsu class. So I watch instructionals almost daily. So that because if you're training like two, three, four times a week, you'll improve, but you learn a couple techniques per class, and it's slow. But if you are also learning like 10 or 20 extra techniques in videos at home, you will not necessarily get really good at those techniques, but it's a lot of extra tools you've got. So you don't get stuck in a position um, because you haven't learned the technique yet. Like I've got tools for every position, even if I do them sloppily, I still know more or less what to do because I watch a lot of videos. Yeah, so complement your training with videos. But anyway, and this applies to anything really. If you're doing boxing or if you're doing chess, whatever. But basically, I watched first. I just watched the video and understand the technique. Yeah.
De qualidade. Bora lá? Então, ó, primeira coisa que eu quero falar aqui para vocês. Existem alguns posicionamentos que o adversário pode fazer por cima na minha guarda. Então, por exemplo, no vídeo aqui eu vou mostrar três exemplos. Ó. O primeiro
You see, my coach is Brazilian, and he's learning English. I'm helping him learn English. And yeah, I chat to him. He likes the fact that I speak Portuguese, so we talk Portuguese as well, even if the class is in Spanish. But I don't know, or I didn't know until recently, the jiu-jitsu specific vocabulary because there's a lot of stuff that it's not it doesn't have the same name in Spanish or in English and in Portuguese. So I have to learn all the vocab, and the best way to do it is just watch videos because he teaches the class in Spanish, right? So and I want to talk to him in Portuguese, especially if I'm fighting someone. I want to ask for instructions that the other guy won't understand, and it's just because it's cool to speak Portuguese to the coach, right? There are a couple other dudes learning with me. Okay, so first you just watch the video and understand the technique, and then this is the magic trick. So you come to transcript and you get the transcript and you copy it, the whole thing. Yeah, you copy the transcript and you go to ChatGPT and you paste it and you give the prompt. Rewrite this in a way that's easy to read, that's organized, something like that. I just improvise the prompt, but in a way that it's all neat instead of like untidy instead of this, which is hard to read, right? And then I add it to a list. I've got every technique that I've been watching. It's on a long list, and I review the list regularly. So I'm learning, reviewing the whole list in Portuguese. Doesn't mean that I will remember exactly every technique, but if I see the name of the technique and then I see the description, so like your hand here, your knee there, do this, push that, like all that stuff. I'm learning the vocab and also, yeah, I remember just by reading. I remember okay, this technique, yeah, and then eventually it comes back when if I'm in position to apply that technique in when rolling later, I'll yeah, I'll try it because it'll be there. Because I've been reviewing the list. You can't rewatch 50 videos a day, right? But you can quickly review the titles of the videos and a description of it, and that's much because you can read much faster. So I read the list in Portuguese, so it's a lot of extra practice. I learn the vocab and I get good at jiu-jitsu. That's how I do it. Also, I watch a lot of, I mentioned a lot of videos in English and in Russian. Obviously, I don't translate Russian, but with English and Russian, just I do the same thing for Russian. Yeah. And I learn techniques from judo, sambo, etc. That then I use in jiu-jitsu because they don't expect me to use those things. But for English, what I do is watch it normally, and then this same thing, copying it and rewriting it in a tidy way with ChatGPT, and then I translate it into Portuguese. So even the English techniques, the English language techniques, I learn them in Portuguese later. I review them in Portuguese, so I'm learning a lot of extra vocab there as well. So then I can, and I'm learning the expressions and the sentences. Then I can use with the coach. Yeah, that's this is something that's very simple, but that it's very useful. Whatever you're trying to learn, you can do it in the language that you're learning. So, yeah, I've had people do this with chess. I've had people do this with anything really. Also, things about like learning business or learning any kind of professional stuff, any kind of skills. Good to do it in the language, because if you can, even if you learn it in English, because most of the content is in English online, and you'll find better instructionals in English for most things. You can then do this trick of translating it into the target language and reviewing it in the target language, and your brain is working there. You forcing yourself to remember what the thing was, and also in the new language, and you're trying to understand it, and it's a good way to kill two birds with one stone. Anyway, I hope you found it useful, and see you later.